with the odds down the middle.
The desk has me scared. Maniac's analysis of their last matchups and the fact that, you know, because it's such a special and unique matchup because of Dignitas and Fnatic specifically, I'm wondering. I think Fnatic will win, but I'm really not that sure anymore.
I hope we just get a close game, you know, and that's something that all these players in the server, I think, want to give us. Just a good old action-packed adventure here on Dust 2. So, ladies and gents, settle in. The pistol well underway as JW finds himself a second frag here in the opening round. Damn, poor Dig. Not a single bit of damage has actually been dealt the other way until Forrest finds a couple of frags. That long-range P250 with the Kevlar. He even has a flashbang, so the ultimate raid boss here, but shut down by Golden. That's his first and Fnatic's first as well. 1-0 as they kick it off with pistol.
Here's the thing. Now, the last time they played, it was I think a 16-14 match in favor of Dignitas. So you kind of split hairs with that one result. And then you look at their head-to-head, or you look at their map stats on Dust 2, and they're both like pretty terrible at it when they're playing against other teams. 20 and like 10% win rate or something, 20 and 30. And maybe that's why Fnatic wanted to bring them down to Dust 2. Maybe this is the art motivation of like bringing your opponent into the mud. Maybe that's what's happening here. And I could see Dust 2, I feel like, is the smart pick for the slightly worse team. And in this situation, maybe Fnatic, they say, we're better at Dust 2 slightly. Last time was a write-off. And yeah, this is a surprise to you because you don't get to play Overpass.
Single deagle for Forrest in the second. And if this map is going to get muddy, as you say, which, I mean, we've got to thank Art, man. He gave us such a great analogy before this whole event even kicked off.
Amazing,
I feel like we've started to apply it across the board. And, well, across the board comes Dignitas. JW pops up. He's only going to find that first one, but Crims doesn't leave his teammate all alone. Although Forrest, just like in the pistol, the only player for Dig to start fragging back versus Fnatic. He's actually managed to get all the way past Goose, really trying to force this gunfight versus Flusha, because he doesn't have the bomb. So he's going to go down to 8 HP. CT's looking to survive so that they can retrieve their M4, which they will. Conversion off of the 2 kills, but again, let's go, Dig. Somebody other than Forrest needs to start getting on the scoreboard.
Yeah, no bomb plant's a little bit damning, so we'll see what they try to do now. We've got the guns in play. 3K so far, everyone can afford one. We've seen Flusha buying the UMP on these buy rounds way too often. It's a little bit worrying. But to be honest, he's made some incredible plays with it. I just don't understand how it works. But it's kind of scary because if he gets kills, they make a ton of money for their team. And if he's comfortable with it, he doesn't spend a lot of money on more expensive guns. So in a weird way, it's kind of like having a cash cow in the form of like one of your best players. And yeah, it could be a scary prospect for Dignitas. There's always going to be more buy rounds on Dust 2 since people aren't saving up for like max utility. And yeah, for all of those reasons, you know, maybe the UMP is kind of a cool weapon, but a little scary, a little weird that Flusha always likes to buy the UMP on these buy rounds.
It's wild as well because, I mean, even in like the half buys when people get into the situation where they need to force, the UMP's one of those lesser popular SMGs nowadays. The MP9 Mac 10s seems to be the given. They, like the UMP, have the advantage of just being so dirt cheap. You know, there was that phase with the MP7 as well where it's like, it's almost that like quasi rifle, you know, it's at the halfway mark. But I'm not quite sure where the UMP falls in terms of the SMG ratings nowadays. I don't know what the strength is other than Flusha's really good with it. And I think for him, that's enough. But over towards the catwalk, we get that first gunfight. A little bit of chip damage versus Exist. They're met by a Molotov, so as we hit the 30-second mark, no one's made a move.
Yeah, it's a bit still. Well, it's not still on the CT side. Golden, he actually kind of pulled attention. Left B open for it for just a second. Bit worried about this mid to B, and JW with, you know, this crack peek gets some damage in, but he gets traded through the door, and that's the most important thing. Now, there's a flank. Oh, Flusha from the top of mid. He's got the UMP kill in the back, and Brolin, yeah, he combines in tandem with him.
Brolin's actually going to get a second. 6 seconds left over, and they never managed to get past mid. Hauser going to die on site as Brolin with the 3-piece. Switching over to the AK, the entirety of Fnatic actually walking away with those AK-47s. So JW starts that round. You know, he goes for the crack peek, and he just gets blown away.
Yeah, tell me how 3 of those kills came with the UMP in that round. 3 AKs dropped. It's a Dignitas back on the safe. They have between 2 and 3K. They're going to upgrade slightly with some of the pistols and some utility. Still could be a winnable situation. Lots of people towards B. 3 players on this side should be okay to stop this rush.
Yeah, half decent flashbangs as well from Dig, so that's going to make the CTs uncomfortable somewhat. Golden can't extend too far because of the smoke up in his face. JW, combat opping, perhaps. But this is one of those chaotic moments where, you know, Fnatic, if they want to get into the ebb and flow of the match, if they want to play aggressive, if they want to flex their weapons advantage, they could even stop the bomb. But, well, Dig, they hope that somebody walks in this doorway. Going to throw that AK-47 back over to Exist. Forrest will now definitely plant. He's going to stick it for the cash. And a first bit of good cover from Exist. That's JW down with minimal losses, but Exist's gun goes dry, and when he pops back up, he's done. Golden and Flusha to finish this one off. Bomb plant for Dig off the B rush, but that's Fnatic 4-0.
Yeah, hey, that could have been a lot worse for sure. You know, the Molly comes down front sight. They have JW spotting mid actively to defend against mid B or any cat aggression. So information was all on Fnatic's side, and there was no one to split up the defense at all. And so they came through the tunnels 2 here. They're in pretty good spots to try to hold this off. So yeah, I think Dignitas will take that bomb plant all day, and we'll go into another rifle round. Halzerk, he's been a star of the webcams because he's had fun with it, and he's also gotten very viscerally and very apparently upset and like smashed his desk, and so he's just been fun to watch from all angles. But you don't want to see Halzerk getting upset. That sucks.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll return to that point once we get a chance to talk about it, because this round's kicking off quick. Exist, lickety split through mid. And Flusha is going to challenge the opposite set of doors. Now, Exist got that first frag and stuck around here. There's been no real attempt until now to take it back. And if JW is not careful, he could get caught in mid yet again. There it is. Seeing Exist, the Molotov to force him forward. Op shot connects. And all of a sudden, we get Dignitas turned over towards the tunnels in their entirety. And they don't really have an opening. So they're going to just go ahead and pump the brakes. We've got more than a minute on the clock.
Yeah, they'll hold off. Flusha is down. Cat, he's collecting a lot of information while Dignitas are trying to make an inconspicuous move back around. Now they tether off of Get Right in lower tunnels, but yeah, his AK is going to get spotted, and nobody's here at top mid to stop Flusha. They're in vision for just a second, but yeah, this is going to count against them. It's pretty much a matter of time before he dies. He's at least got a teammate here to trade. Yeah, that should be easy. Oh, you would think. Yeah, Freiberg, well, he'll take some damage for that attempt. And Golden now at the car. He's alone, but he hasn't been spotted.
Makes a bit of noise, Crims. Ooh, eats a nade. Oh, and there's Freiberg gonna snap it back with a frag. Hey, this round is open for the taking. Crims' position is known to the T's, but he still has the smoke for the moment, and he's calling his teammate over. 8 seconds on the clock. He hits the Opera. Crims doing it dirty. Both the kills off of the car. They knew where he was, but because of the time, they couldn't wait out the smoke. Nice piece of utility there to find Fnatic 5.
Maybe he could do a collaboration with like Krispy Kreme, and he could have like Crimsy Cream or something. Just like very sweet treats with Crims' bald head, with a nice like thick white outline on it, and yeah, and he could sell desserts, market it as like the you know, sweet Counter-Strike player, sweet desserts. Yeah, Halzerk, he's not feeling too sweet right now.
And you brought that up earlier. I was thinking to myself, you know, one of the benefits of the player cams we've had is we kind of get these raw emotions out of the players. And I was thinking to myself, without your coach behind you, without your teammates next to you to, you know, kind of vibe off energy positively, then I think that you start to get this pockets of negativity. There's nobody actually sat in the same room as Halzerk telling him, reminding him, take a deep breath. calm down. Stop smashing shit. Just focus on the game at hand. And I've seen it across other teams as well. It's not just Hauser. He's a prime example of it, and obviously relevant to the game at hand at the moment. But like 5 rounds deep, he's already flustered. Some people thrive in that kind of an environment, but to others, it can be detrimental. Speak of the devil, however, and Hauser's going to take Golden down through mid. Just snaps him back through the doorway with the scout. Excellent scoped usage here from Dignitas to start the round, but they lose that man advantage because Get Right also dies.
Yeah, Get Right. You know, he's been a key player in this matchup, as was brought up by Maniac. Of all of the players on Dignitas, he's had the highest rating versus Fnatic in their recent head-to-heads. But players peel off around him as well. JW will take this aggressive peek down long. Freiberg's waiting on the corner, but he can hold on to this angle for pretty much as long as he'd like, which counts against Dignitas as long as they don't work on something. And meanwhile, of course, Fnatic, I mean, they're always a little bit worried when they don't have information. They would rather go ahead and take risks than rely on holds, and that's part of their charm. But, ooh, very nice trade through the smoke from Exist. That turns things up.
Just over the top of the smoke as well, standing on the car. Forest was trying to find somebody off of the catwalk. Here comes Crims. Sitting duck in Forest, and Crims doesn't pull the trigger. Whoa, almost giving a chance to Forest there. Spinning bomb plant, and ooh, just in the nick of time. It's going to get activated. Fnatic still able to retake right away. 6-0. This CT side is looking good. They're on the holds, they're on the retakes, and they're keeping bodies alive, so the money's great too.
Yeah, no signs of stopping. Now, in that last matchup, it was like Ents were up like 6-0, and then I went and took a shower, and then Astralis won like 6 rounds. So maybe Dignitas could just randomly come through. And oh man, yeah, Crims, he's incredibly Crimsistent. You know, he's so good on that CT side. He's always putting up 2 kills on these rifle rounds, and he's the player that's the most. In some senses, he's the most annoying part of Fnatic, because once you start to play like Fnatic versus Fnatic, you always run into Crims, who doesn't play like Fnatic. He's the guy who plays his spots properly, holds his angle as well, you know, rotates when it's safe, and then always hits his shots as an anchor. And, you know, he's the guy you don't expect to be there because he's playing the more predictable locations.
JW, sometimes too difficult to predict. Oh, dude, he is fully blind. We need that one on the replay, because that's not one of those get flashed on an angle and just time it properly. He actually adjusts his crosshair while fully blind. Muscle memory. Fantastic. 5 versus 4. Thanks to JW. Now, Flusha a little weakened, but oh, Crims also blind. That's the other type of blind kill. Dignitas just can't catch a break, and Get Right doesn't even have time to react to Flusha swinging out here at the top of middle. Hauser's turning his attention back. We've got 3 ops standing in this 2 versus 3, and it looks like Dig want B.
Yeah, but yeah, even though they put the long push together, Golden's like doubling up on it, so he gets the info on mid. Plus, Cat has been solved, so Brolin is going to be on high alert. He knows that they were probably coming this way, and it's just going to come down to the rotations from there on out. But yeah, his eyes are well trained at the moment. He doesn't have to move at all.
Just holds. And Forrest walks right into him. Hauser looking for the clutch, regains vision, sees the player who had just peeked door, and that's a bit of a robbery. But that's kind of the entirety of this round. Rob, frag after frag. I just don't know, man. Look at this. JW, fully white. Oh, and he's still peeking door. Okay, it wasn't... Maybe I hyped it up a bit too much.
Oh,
but,
my God.
It's the slow motion that takes it away from it. Just ridiculous couple of flash frags here from Fnatic.
Yeah, I interviewed Flusha once, and I was like, it was during, you know, Fnatic peak, and I was like, man, it feels like you guys get like 1 crazy kill every single round.
Oh,
like, is that part of your game plan? And he's like, yeah, you can just kind of expect it. That's what his answer was, plain and simple. It's just, we expect with the players we have to get something ridiculous happening every round. It's just part of our game. And it's like, who can like sit in practice and talk about that and use that as like a viable way to approach playing Counter-Strike? How do you get that? How do you have that much confidence? You know, we all strive to have that level of confidence in life.
Hauser confidently taking the peak on long, but that too shut down here. So Fnatic 8 in a row. But, you know, I love that you bring up the point of saying, like, they're confident in getting these crazy kills, because that was a round where, once more, you have 2 players getting frags despite being flashed. So back-to-back double flashed frags for Fnatic. And Dig will come back in with a buy. They've got that op on Halzerk. We saw the scout take a player down through mid. He's posted up early, but it's the sole B defender to cross over here. All in the form of Golden Exist. He's going to challenge long A, met by the double Molotov, has to put it out, but he took nearly 0 damage from it. Now the frags fly forward. Exist, barely standing, dies to the one shot of Flusha's M4 as JW picks one up off the op. So yet again, Fnatic in a double man advantage in a mere matter of seconds. They do have, however, 2 Ts outside mid doors, and Crims is going to shut that one down. So no matter where Dignitas have been able to find some kind of an opening, there is always then some sort of a hold. Get right, he's desperate to fall back through tunnels. He wants to join Forest, who in the meantime cleared B, and has a chance at taking down those first rotators. There is one close door, so JW looking to slip through smoke perhaps, as Get Right goes over to plant the bomb. J-Dub stops it, and even gets back through the door to find cover. This forces Forest's feet forward, and, well, he is just inside of the flashbangs, inside of the smoke, trying his damnedest, but Fnatic take 9.
It's as if these guys have an illusionist cape and they can just be in multiple places at once. I think that is the real... It's just the fact that they never forfeit map control without some kind of answer, and some kind of answer right away. And yeah, I mean, that's got to be the scariest part, is that just like no matter what you do, there's always another one coming your way, and they're always pushing a smoke. They quite simply make it so that on the T side, there's not enough players to cover every possible opening.
Are you enjoying yourself today, Mohan?
This morning for breakfast, I had 2 sprinkled donuts and a box of sushi. So I feel terrible, but I had a coffee that rounded it out quite nicely. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling it. I'm vibing.
Good. I'm
gliding. And I'm happy that we've got this Swedish derby at hand, man. Although I was expecting a scoreline a little bit closer, I bet you that Mathieu is sweating on the desk at the moment. Maniac promised us this was going to be close. Maniac tried to paint the picture of 2 Titans locking horns tonight. But right now, all I see is a bull in Fnatic just kind of stampeding through pedestrians.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Spanish parade for Fnatic at the moment. Yeah, I mean, after what we saw yesterday, I really, you know, I'm permanently holding my breath. But yeah, it feels like Fnatic they're doing okay. It's gonna be hard to stop them at this point.
Freiburg finds a little something towards mid, and then falls back through the doors. So it's an all-in from Dig on the tunnels. Brolin gonna pop back up with the AUG, cutting off 2, and then of course with Freiburg peeks in, JW's bags that one. So that's the double digits for Fnatic. As fast as can be, we have gotten through these first 10, and Dig yet still to get on the board. Whoop.
Yeah, I think one thing that might work a bit better for Dignitas is kind of oversimplifying it to the nth degree. Like, for example, if things aren't working like right now and they have a good long spawn, maybe think about trying to force long and just winning those trades. It's a process by elimination. It kind of shows them that, you know, if they can't win the trades, there's no way they can win these rounds on Dust 2. And that could be a good place to start. Now, they make decent progress, but Flusha he receives the call of duty. He comes up to deny them off-cat and continues to push farther to get a second kill. 3 players up, and look, see, Crims just refreshes his spot. He's this player who's in the normal position, and it's one that's probably going to be somewhat unanticipated.
And then he's just gonna sit in his smoke again. Or no, actually he goes for the peek. So listen, Get Right with his first frag of this map could still get the first round at the very same time, but it's gonna take the 1v3. He does have both CTs held off for the moment, as we've got Brolin deep spawn and Golden wrapping round. What can Get Right do? He's peeked by the op of Golden, didn't see it coming, and so that's Fnatic with an 11th consecutive round.
Yeah, we talked about jinxes yesterday, so I mean, what did we learn though? I don't know if we learned anything. I mean, KNG did die a few times in that game, but the game also did go like 30 rounds by the end of it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just talk about it for the quality and contents of the rounds that happen. But yeah, man, this is why I think it's going to be frustrating. But you know what? If they go and try to win long control, this is just an aspect of Dust 2 they need to be able to do. And there's not much that goes into it outside of just being able to hit your entries. So maybe if they try to force that issue, they can secure a 5v4 without thinking too hard and move on from there. But if they're not confident in that, I mean, they're not going to win, first of all. That's just a fundamental component of the map. So let's see if they can muster the frag right now. JW, he can be flashed off this angle, and he doesn't have support to come and peek afterwards. Flash comes out, shots missed. Long control is now theirs. And we'll see how Fnatic decide to scramble to make up for it.
They fall back, and they hold from there. JW posted. There's a little bit of map control for Dignitas. We've seen rounds where they just kind of spread out, and there's been wild antics. I mean, don't forget for a moment, even last round, we had JW jumping up on E-Box and called out by Forrest, who just shoots through smoke to kill him. So again, kind of starting to predict these wild antics, seeing that Fnatic are no longer playing with respect. And Freiberg, ooh, he gets both inside of the tunnels. I was going to say Brolin even shot through the smoke last round to claw them back. So every time we've seen Dig with an opening, there's been some sort of wild CT move that got them back in control of the situation. Will it happen now? Because this is a legitimate 2 versus 5. And both the CTs still survive on full bars of HP. Crims, he's going to get called out from his position, and he can't manage anything more than the first. JW having to retake with an op, jumps down middle, gets past the player that was tucked as a landmine. And so Tunnels is susceptible to the flank, but they know this. So JW really has no business trying to win this round. He may think he's sneaky, but in reality, it's predicted. Molly meets him on arrival. That's going to tell him they know what's up. Get Right could have come up from the lower tunnels, but that's not going to happen. Seems like he wants to survive, but it's not the 16-0, folks. It's not the 16-0.
Yeah, at least there's no 16-0, so takes a heroic effort from Freiberg, and he ends up destroying the upper B push. Now, Fnatic are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get next round. But this is at least something. It's a dim silver lining on a very, very dark cloud, but it's a round in their favor. It opens up the potential for an 11-4 half, or maybe even a 12-3 half. Some say 12-3 is the most cursed scoreline for the team who has 12 in CSGO. So maybe there's a chance here. Nice opening kill here on Long for Hauser. He comes out with that op. He gets away unscathed completely. Nobody on his team is hurt at all. Maybe their feelings are hurt by the scoreline, but apart from that, they're doing okay in this round HP wise. And now Dignitas, another good establishing moment here. Just don't blow the next 2 kills, really. I mean, if you trade out favorably from here on out, you're doing great.
Oh, but they have disjointed timing. A little gap between bodies. Now grenades starting to meet them on the catwalk. JW, he gets replaced by Crims, who is then opt out of the round. So we do still have Dignitas up by 1 player, although damage across 2. B bomb site completely forfeited by Fnatic, instead deciding to bolster mid doors. And that's also going to enable the potential to come up from CT. Now, JW hits his shot, but he doesn't find the frag. And then Brolin decides to come in from behind. Off of the Xbox, he takes 1, but Get Right's recalled from Long in order to stop that. And now all that's left of Fnatic is a straight-up A-hold, except they have Golden to try and move back through CT. 30 seconds. And I think Dig, they're just going to boil this down, start getting Fnatic to think it's B. Done.
Yeah, I like that. You know, all that. Yeah, they just wait a bit to scare them because Get Right got that flank lurk, and you know, this could have been Fnatic gambling on A, but you know, Golden kind of just runs through CT spawn, and yeah, it's the perfect response for Dignitas. So yeah, the door is open now a little bit more. It's the crack is open. You can fit a full shoe in the doorway right now. There's a bit more space. Golden's going to keep the op up. They've still got some money to buy on Fnatic, and it looks like, you know, it's been decent economic damage here from Dignitas, all things considered. And so another pretty solid round from Dignitas. This is how a lot of rounds are going to look on Dust 2. You know, you're not going to have any earth-shattering new types of strategies. That round was simply Halzerk winning an op duel at long because he had a good spawn, and then his teammates following up with cat control and just trading out effectively, as we talked about. JW even tried to put their feet to the fire by holding on to that off angle, but once he fell out, it was Halzerk to get the next trade as well.
Agreed. Halzerk, he's the one who kind of stepped up last round, but don't forget for a moment, you know, we are getting into those last few closing rounds. Fnatic were in full control for the first 10, so they're losing to moves that they don't necessarily have to make, i.e. Freiburg catching 2 players top tunnels who instead could have just played default on site. So if these 2 rounds from Dig, wow, Forest.
Oh.
He sticks inside of the flames to get Brolin. From beyond the grave, Brolin bounces it back, but regardless, that's a big move from Forest to ensure an opening kill. My point being, if 2 rounds, of course, is the foot in the door, if that's the shoe all the way through, it is only like a woman's size 6.
Yeah, a little kid's light-up shoe, maybe. Yeah, that's true. I think, yeah, let's call that play. Well, I think that play was normally known as like the JW. It'd be the reverse CT jumping through long doors. But we could call that the forest fire, standing all the way into the Molotov until death to find the op shot. We see teams and players play in that spot and hold it for a bit, take 30 or 40 damage, but not all the way to the brink of death to get the kill.
Until death, I don't depart. That was the motto there for Forest in the Fire. Although not much has happened since that early engagement. We do have Dignitas sizing up mid with 3 players, so I mean, they have enough utility to just block off CT spawn, and that's going to apply a lot of pressure to Golden and Crims, who kind of have their faces turned forward. We're getting that utility to start bombard through window. Bomb has slipped through. Crims, he tries to slip back on mid. Cuts down Halzerk, so the opera's removed, but both frags go the way of Dignitas. They get that B split worked out perfectly. You can't. You have to imagine a world where if Crims has a full rifle, then that fight versus the Opera is taking half of the amount of time. He can turn his attention back, but MP9 not the most reliable at times.
Yeah, there's been some perplexing T-sides between yesterday and right now, and it's good to see Dignitas, although they wake up late, they still get a few rounds here, but there are, some questions drawn about what the next half will look like. I mean, it's kind of on Fnatic to decide and tell us what their T-side's going to look like. Once again, there's no real evidence to show us that they should be slowing down to the point that they can drop a lead that is this enormous. But crazier things have happened. It's been stranger than fiction for some of these maps here at the Blast Showdown.
Looked like he almost got away with it there, Forest. Just a single tick left. He had like 20 HP from 100 to 20, just sitting in the fire, anticipating the peak, and sure enough, Brolin gives it. So, all right. Final round of the first half, folks, and JW is going to kick this one off. Halzerk ready to respond with that mid-op, and he sees the players swapping weapons. Now, that's obviously a glaring opening over towards the B bomb site, and you see Freiburg trying to pressure this, actually. He's managed to get out through the tunnel, but there's nobody actually inside of the bomb site for him to take down, so now he's making the call. Red Rover, come on over as Freiburg starts to activate, cutting off Golden, who never seemed to see it coming. Flusha, well, he's going to go ahead and spam doors all he wants, and there is nothing for him to nab here. Bomb carriers already deep on site. With with the cover of the Molotov it's in. So Fnatic, they're gonna have to go for the retake. With nothing to lose either here in the final of the first half. What's the utility look like? Double smoke, triple flashbang. That could cut off tunnels, which would counteract Forest on the op. We shall see. CT is kind of boiling this one down. Bomb's halfway already gone here. Nobody's making moves until now. And once those flashbangs start popping, so do the AKs. 2 frags for Get Right. The last one's Freiburg's. 4 rounds for Dignitas. Will it be enough as they switch over to the defense? They got 4 of the last 4. Fingers crossed. If you're in the Dig camp, we'll see you after the break.
So Deagle is done, I'm currently in the lead. Next up is the AK and overpass. Is everyone? Got a mid shot suddenly. One of the most confusing thing is there's no radar, so you don't
I've been
know.
spawning on the same position every... Oh, you come with a deal there? There's 2 guys spawning there, what?
Spawn kill.
Can you do?
One top loader.
Fnatic coming out of the gates with 11 rounds straight. They toss, excuse me, a lifeline to Dignitas, allowing for them to close with 4 rounds in a row. But before this second half gets started, before we see Dig on the CT side, I want to talk utility damage. The combined total for Fnatic after 15 rounds, 1,073 damage. Contrast that to Dignitas, they have 120.
Wow, yeah, that's a stellar thing to look at. You know, on the CD side especially, could determine the way a lot of the opening kills had gone. So this round starts off with a fiery blaze. Fnatic pressing out towards mid. Hauser trying to get in time, trying to get in position to rotate. Freiburg, very nice one tap though. Brolin ends up getting killed, and he'll look for more targets off of his own flash. He'll make it 2.
They've got the bomb down mid, though. That's going to be a big issue for the last 2 Ts who have to fight their way into this. JW, 1 versus 3. 2 players over towards the double doors and exist tucked on boxes. JW will be exposed to all, and Hauser takes the headshot. So Dignitas, with a 3-piece off their opper, goes ahead and gets at least a little bit of early momentum. Can they follow through? They buy up the AUG, the FAMAS, and tons of grenades for everyone.
Well, a producer asked us in private earlier for a game that doesn't go maybe the full 30 rounds every time again. Sorry to inform you guys in the truck that this is probably going the distance. Dignitas on fire somehow in this game, and yeah, at least they get that first pistol round. That's a really big way to leapfrog yourself into a comeback, Connor.
Wild, right? They have 5 rounds, 17 rounds deep, and they've strung them together in a row. Oh, Exist and Forest just bombarding the double doors. Everybody dies here for Fnatic, so we get through that eco round with not too much action. Let's go ahead and get into the gun rounds, though. See if Fnatic can gain control as fast as possible on the offense.
Maybe we'll get to see why it was that the map went to, you know, the full distance during the road to Rio, because that Fnatic, or that, yeah, and that actually, their Dust 2, it was a 10-5 T side in favor of Dignitas. So that means they had kind of a real struggle. So maybe that won't tell you that it'll become a lot closer. And this is already a vicious attempt at taking long, but Forest, with just an MP9, is able to win the majority of the trades until Brolin answers back. Golden's already made his way up Cat as well, and this is how you fork the A site.
Yep. This A site is entirely in the control of Fnatic, unless Golden dies to the Cat play. Imagine that smoke doesn't go down. Imagine Hauser doesn't spam through it, because at least now it's 2 versus 2. The Molly's going to burn Flush's feet off of the bomb site, and we have the smokes now being exchanged. So utility still looking strong here for Dignitas, but Hauser, he has 15 HP, so a single bullet's going to take him down, and then there's no grenades left. He could use the smoke on the corner of Cross in order to try and vie control for ramp. He could jump spot Goose if he wanted to play the chance, and he does that. But the jump is what's going to activate Brolin, who then throws down the Molotov. Exist is going to have to rush him, and the jumping MP9 headshot. Dignitas taking 7, as it's both Forest and Exist with double kills.
Yeah, there's a couple of misplays there from Fnatic. Like to talk about them first, even though it was a great 1v2 from Exist. Number 1, you know, Golden, he takes an unfavorable fight towards Cat. He was last spotted there, and he's praying for the headshot, but Hauser, he's only showing his head on the stairs, and they both have seen each other while he's out in the open. So he has a lower % chance of winning that and could have stayed alive in that 3v2, even though he gets some damage in. Just to point that out, since they lost. And the next one is obviously Brolin. He throws the Molotov to make sure that his teammate Goose doesn't have to fight at all. He could have peeked if he wanted to, but that Molotov would have helped him delay, kept the 2v1, kept the crossfire alive for Brolin. So Brolin got kind of thrown to the wolves there by having to play that 1v1 by running up onto the site.
Early damage versus Hauser. That was made possible by the scout here from JW. CTs decide to smoke off the doors, not wanting anyone to run through them. This is going to allow for them to cheat, get right back and forth between mid and A. But seems like they maybe want to go for a boost here, because the smoke on the hinge will fade first. And yeah, there it is. He picks up a frag from it. Finding the lineup, taking the CTs into a man advantage. Now, do Fnatic execute off of this? They start to throw out some utility. They're going to be answered by a flash. They turn their attention away. Nobody's actually picked up that bomb, so at any moment they could double back towards B. And I think Dignitas realized this, so they play that anchored B defense while they give Fnatic a chance to extend here on the elbow. But The elbow extends all the way, it turns into a right hook, and suddenly we're back into the 4 versus 4, which then turns their attention back to the B site, and they are going to sprint over. We see Dignitas try and tuck back into the cover with Hauser throwing the Molotov and the follow-up nade. Now he's not scoped in, so not ready at all. Exist! Can't manage the second frag, but here's Get Right also pinched as J-Dubs comes in from mid. He looks to fight Freiberg, but that's where he falls. And unless Freiberg clutches 1v3, this is Fnatic with a 12th.
That was such a sick kind of motion offense there from Fnatic, where when they rocked it back, it actually looked quite obvious to Dignitas, but that is what scared them into pulling their mid player into the B site as well. They didn't have anyone hang out and try to defend because they were so worried about making sure that the B rush was going to be stopped, and they heard multiple pairs of shoes running through the tunnel. So then JW decides to just jump out mid, and instantly they've got a 3-man attack on the B site versus 2, and they have a man on lurk to catch the other 2 players they know were over on A. So it's a really nice mid-round play by Fnatic to create chaos, suspicion, and I almost said franticity. I don't know, franticness to create chaos on the CT side. Franticity.
Franz Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand.
That was what you were
Feliz
looking
Navidad. Yeah.
Woo! Fifth Flaren. A little animated.
Oh, for Flaren, he
That
felt that
headshot,
bomb
he felt
explosion. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the blast stage all over again.
Yeah. The fire on the back here. Olaf! Good to see you again, my friend. Thought you were retired. Oh, he got over that phase.
Looks like they're not going to buy off this.
Quickly, it looks like.
Yeah, shortest retirement ever.
Yeah.
Little curb purchase here, Mohan. We've got the smoke flash and 2 frags picked up. Freiberg's going to have to be the difference maker.
He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to be the deep Freiberg. Okay, he's gonna have to go deep Freiberg. Oh,
There's the flashbang.
Brolin.
Here's Brolin.
Oh. Yeah.
Woo. Not a bad pistol dink.
Still good rifle work by the kid, and you know Golden. I think Golden likes being the IGL, so he can press W more. I feel like someone else is calling, he's like smart enough to not need to play this rushy, but he's like got the perfect team to enable his deepest desires to press W, and boy does he ever. He wastes no time. They're up on site. Bomb's gonna get planted. The one AK is probably just gonna get recycled, and yeah, that should be a wrap.
It's going to be a 13th for Fnatic. Dig's still sitting on 7, so they kicked off their CT side with 3 rounds in a row, which pales in comparison when we remember that Fnatic had 11 to start. How wild, though. You know, this game has been a match of streaks. 11 in a row, followed by 7 in a row. Now Fnatic are back in control. This is at least 2, and Get Right goes down. He was not the player with the AK. That's still Freiberg, who will find himself challenged as Golden keeps going. But it looks like Exist is trying to take that attention away. And, ooh, not going to fall prey to the trickery of Exist or Freiberg. Golden clears the board of the AK, and as said, takes Fnatic to that 13th round. But the buyback immediately here from Dig.
Yeah, Golden had all the calculations going down on his noggin. He knew where the first fight was going to be, where the next fight was going to be. He was ready for that. So yeah, good. I mean, Brolin's amazing, right? He's the kid that comes out of daycare that shows everybody that he is the truth, and he's been consistent. He's the original Brokey. Okay, he's the original Brokey. He's been doing really good on Fnatic.
Grim's trying to isolate the player in the bomb site. Good door peek by Forrest, but he gets cut down. Now the bomb is to Freiberg. Oh! Eats a nade! Golden dunks him. And all of a sudden, it's back to the 3 versus 3 with no CTs in sight. Falusha, however, might just cut them all down. He has the back of Get Right, the follow-up into the head of Hauser. Ooh, so close to the 3-piece, but he gets dinked, so he's just going to give this one up, and Exist gives chase. It's a game of cat and mouse here to close. As Fnatic, they're definitely going to double up on the Dignitas scoreline. We're talking 14 rounds to 7.
I feel like Get Right getting opt in the back of the head is the most iconic kind of posterization of what it means to play CS in 2020. Even Get Right can get flanked these days, let alone by an Oppa Flusha sitting in spawn buying guns.
Just sitting on the suicide boxes, hanging around as all the action unfolds. But Exist does get a fadeaway frag. Down goes Brolin. That could be an upgrade off the Famas, and it's an AWP of all things.
That it is. Boom. You see the physics on that nade? What on earth was that? That was some Magneto level physics with the way he controlled that grenade. I don't know how it bounced that way. Poor guy. Oh, don't break it. Don't do it, my man. It's not worth it. See, if it was a tournament desk, they bring you a new one. At home, what you gonna do, my friend? What you gonna do?
Ooh. JW is not slowing down whatsoever. Although they did still see the other two players cross, so Fnatic, it's not gonna be an easy commitment, but they very may well still go off of this. Grenades go deep. Bomb's been picked back up. And it looks like they're actually just trickling back into more of a default, and I don't blame them. Look what happens. Freiburg caught in long doors. Ooh.
Oh,
okay.
Nice reactions. Wow, great. Yeah, quick headshot. Get Right can upgrade as well. So now everybody's got a decent gun on the CT side. Get Right's kind of alone right now. Forrest will start to come back. He's got the low ground with a scout. Oh, but eventually Get Right, of course, he'll get flanked. Flusha knows just when to start moving, and Exist is now all alone. It seemed promising there for a moment, just for a slight bit there.
Yeah, Flusha really the difference maker as he comes up from the catwalk. Flusha, a good argument for the dot crosshairs, for those of you out there. The minority, but I'm behind you. He's a minute red dot. I like it. Let's see if Dignitas have any more life in them. I mean, for a moment it looked like this could have been the 16-0, so at least we got away from that scoreline. Maniac, incredibly wrong, so it seems. Don't let him forget it. Crims, he's going to barrel through the smoke grenade and the fire, and right into the gunfire, however, of Freiburg. Three-piece, holding down that B site. JW, he is still in spawn.
Yeah, I mean, what he does wouldn't work if he was always playing aggressive. So, yeah, JW showing he can do both. It'd be incredibly annoying by not moving, and incredibly annoying by moving too much. P250. Swing on this. Shot misses. Oh, okay. Okay. That's one kill, downhill recover. The op will be recovered. But there's a play shut down. So Maniac. We'll see if Maniac will be humbled today. I mean, maybe he won't. Haha, unless.
He's been incredibly humbled despite leading the predictions all this entire tournament so far. So he probably doesn't merit me digging into him at the moment, but I don't know. I think it's the scarf.
No, the desk is a really nice balance between like chaotic evil and
good and evil,
neutral good, and like it's a good balance.
Who's the evil there?
Definitely Thorin would be the evil one. but in the best way possible. Chaotic evil. Yeah.
Of course. Looking down middle, but nothing here. Being given up by the CTs. They still have so much presence on pit. Oh, and Flusha. He just looks away the moment before Get Right comes hopping out of the pit. Just drop kicks him back, and now we've got Fnatic trying to muscle their way through mid, and it's not going to take much muscle. I think I could do it. I mean, they've just smoked off CT spawn with the Molotov on top of it, trying to get into this B site where Freiburg and Forrest stand shoulder to shoulder, but Forrest comes up empty-handed. And now Freiburg, he came up big with the hold last time, but he's all alone and almost successful. JW here inside of middle, gonna miss that op shot, so the CT's still coming in hot for the retake. Golden wants to plant this bomb right away, because Crims can't cover much with only 4 points of health left over. Counter-terrorists working with no utility, 2 kits, 2 ops. Not gonna be easy.
They get one. Halzerk picks up one flash. I mean, this could mean everything for sure. Golden, aware of the big box play. Oh yeah, from tunnels, get right, nice. Crack peek headshot, and Crim's 1v3. Could he actually? No. Good trade there from Halzerk, and yeah, they play it well. Golden aware of everything that could come, but yeah, if he wins the first fight, we're talking. But instead, Dignitas pull it off. Scary for Dignitas, you know, not having utility. That means they're taking on a duel that, you know, they're taking on at least one duel they don't want to. But yeah, Get Right handles it really well done here on this one. And then good trades from there on out. So Dignitas, you know, coming into a more dignified scoreline, respectable scoreline here, almost crossing the 10-round mark, showing some life definitely more on this side than the last. Still Fnatic in the driver's seat completely, though. I mean, yeah, they're basically an air freshener hanging off the car of Fnatic's windshield. The windshield of Fnatic's car.
I can tell you don't have a license because...
I'm driving windshields around.
Yeah, this guy. I mean, listen, he drives, you know, one moped around Vietnam for a month and just making car analogies left and right here. Molotov goes down on the A site, and it is met by utility from the D. Golden trying to find the man back behind the boxes.
Oh!
Wait, that's not... but not blind. That doesn't register as a blind frag, but it just... I don't understand it. We've got a player inside of the CT smoke. It's a 2 versus 4, or Fnatic take the win, but Forest is going to fight for his life and just falls back somewhat to the boxes, trying to go for the jumping op shots. Freiberg off the catwalk. He comes in empty-handed. Forest is desperate at this point. Oh, the no-scope, but